I'm talking about our Pierce County Auditor, Julie Anderson. Welcome, Julie.
Thanks, Amanda.
It is so good to have you back on the comfy couch, especially as we get closer to the big general election coming up. So first off, let's talk about, for people perhaps who don't know or need a reminder, when is the general election?
November 5th.
That's it.
But you've already got your ballots in
Yep.
hand. You don't have to wait until November 5th to vote. I understand there's some, maybe some difficult decisions. People want to do extra research, but November 5th is the deadline, so you've got to make sure you get that ballot in our drop boxes. We've got 45 of them. By 8 p.m. on election night. If you're going to use the U.S. Postal Service, because now it's postage free, we're going to pick up the postage for you. Make sure you mail it the Friday before the Tuesday election, so that's November 1st.
There it is, November 1st.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that in mind. So what's going to be on the ballot?
Well, first of all, a slug of advisory votes that are unbinding and hard to explain. You've got a state referendum. You've got a joint resolution to amend the Constitution to provide for emergency powers in the case of a natural disaster. You've got a lot of local races. Yeah.
There's a ton of it.
There is, and I do want to tell people they're going to get a ballot that's going to be very big and very busy. And on the front side is going to be those state measures. You're not going to see the local measures until you flip it over. The other thing I want people to know, because we're already getting calls, because there are state measures, the state has their own voter pamphlet that they're putting out. It's in color and it's green and it gets mailed to your household.
I've seen that.
That's where you're going to find all the information about those advisory votes and the referendum and the proposed amendment to the Constitution. Our local voter pamphlet is where you're going to find all of the dishy stuff about local candidates that you care about that you'll be voting on. I also want to say, so you're going to be getting a green state pamphlet, a local voter pamphlet, and always pay attention to the first few pages in your voter pamphlet. Everything that you need to know as a voter and as an educated neighbor is in these first few pages.
I love that. You make it easier and easier every time.
I think so, and this is where you're going to find all the Dropbox locations if you don't want to go online at piercecountyelections.org. And there's some other stuff we'll be talking about too.
You posted a photo on social of a new ballot drop box.
Yes.
Now, is that my imagination or is it gigantic?
No, it's ginormous.
There we go.
Yeah, they are extra big, and we did that for a few different reasons. Remember that big winter storm that we had that just absolutely paralyzed the city of Tacoma and Pierce County? That was in the middle of an election. It was very hard to get out to service those ballot drop boxes. In the case of an emergency, we want to make sure that those ballot drop boxes don't get over full. So making them extra big means we don't have to make as many trips and we don't have to worry about them getting full. We've got more and more people coming to the city of Tacoma. It's booming. So we need big boxes.
So there's this new state voter registration system. Let's get into that.
Right. So the voters probably won't notice anything, and it's big news to election administrators, not so much for voters. But it used to be that Pierce County had its own voter registration management system, and we would be responsible for registering, maintaining those records, and then upload those records to the state, because the state is the holder of the official voter roll. But every county did their own thing. In June, we went live with a new statewide voter registration that's top down and one big bucket. So Julie Anderson no longer has Pierce County voter registration. Rather, I'm a partner with 38 other people in the Secretary of State's office managing all of the records in Washington State. There's some good things and some bad things, but mostly good things about this. It means that for the first time, I have visibility about what's happening in King County or Snohomish County or Yakima County. So if you moved from Yakima to the city of Tacoma or Pierce County and you came in to register, I would see your old record, make sure that that got canceled, so you're not registered in two places.
There we go.
And that and everybody can see that. Everybody can see that transaction log, where you were, where you've been, how your record got changed and updated. I can also see your ballot status.
Interesting.
And that's important.
Yes.
Because in June, same-day registration also took effect, a new law that I think we've talked about before on the show, which allows people right up until Election Day to update their voter registration and get a new record. So, for example, you moving from Yakima to the city of Tacoma, let's say you did that and you forgot to update you forgot to tell us.
Right.
But you suddenly became interested in a school board race here and you wanted to vote on it. You could notify us that you're a new resident to the city of Tacoma right up until Election Day. And then we canceled the ballot that we mailed you 18 days ago in Yakima and reissue you one in the city of Tacoma. Now that requires that real-time statewide visibility, because I've got to make sure that that ballot that was mailed to you at your Yakima address didn't get voted.
Otherwise, it's like
Yeah, we don't want to be
duplicitous.
Yeah, right. So that major security feature is extremely important and beneficial, but it's also a lot of work.
Oh, I bet. But the transparency is worth it, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. Let's talk about, you've got some coffee cup and libraries. What does that mean?
Well, this is my new favorite cup. I just got it the other day. Libraries Save Democracy.
Oh, I love this.
You know, they're just, we've got wonderful partners in the city of Tacoma, Puyallup, and Pierce County Rural Library System. So 3 library systems in Pierce County. What a rich resource. They have stepped up and offered to help us and help you with same-day registration. They've had this great idea that since they are, 1, already open.
Yes.
2, have great computer resources
They
and
do.
printers. 3, they are the go-to people for reference and helping.
They are.
And that's where you go to pick up a voter pamphlet if you threw yours away at home. So they're already a go-to resource. On Election Day, like I said, at the last minute, you can update your voter registration, or you can be a new voter on Election Day,
There we
register
go.
to vote. So you have to do that in person, though,
Okay.
which means you'd have to drive into the Pierce County Election Center.
Okay.
Now, Pierce County is 1,600 square miles. For somebody that doesn't have resources, and resources could be time, transportation, money, or a bus route.
Or D all the above.
Yeah, right. It's going to be hard to get into the election center. So libraries are going to be extensions of the elections office on Election Day.
Smart.
We piloted this in we did a very soft rollout in the August primary. This book I keep referencing, your local voter pamphlet, go to page 7 and you're going to read all about it. This program is called Points of Assistance, and all 27 library branches, so any public library in Pierce County, will be available to help any voter or new voter on Election Day.
That's outstanding.
Up until 8 p.m. When we did this in the August primary, a very soft rollout, we ended up, voters that used that, and it's for emergencies. Georgia Lomax and Kate Larson and Patty Ross, the library directors, like to call this "no voter left behind."
I love it.
So in a case of an emergency, let's say you're at home, you can't find your ballot. Shame on you for waiting for the last minute.
That's right.
But you can't find your ballot. You call us and say, I need a replacement ballot, help. And we say, well, you can come here to downtown Tacoma, or you could visit one of the 27 library branches. We direct you to the one that's closest to wherever you are, your office or your home. You walk in, say, I need a replacement ballot. They'll guide you over to their computer lab. And you're going to access that new fancy statewide voter registration
Yes.
system I talked about. You're going to self-serve, because you know that you can print your own replacement ballot from
Yes,
home.
that's right, you can.
But how many people have printers?
Thank you. There
How many people have printers that have toners or paper when they
at
need
work
it.
or online. Okay, last minute and a half here.
Yeah.
Speaking of things at home, let's talk about translation services. They're so important.
Sure. So this is a new thing in November. So for our new Americans that have registered to vote, but need a little extra help navigating those really densely worded resolutions and state measures, we're offering translation in Spanish, Korean, and Vietnamese online. So I just ask people to go to piercecountyelections.org, and on that front page, if you just scroll down, we have language resources, language assistance, and just click on the language that you need assistance with, and there's a lot of resources there.
I love that.
Just a little bit of help.
As always, you are incredibly informative, more informative than the ballot in the catalog, but that's because you're you. So, Julie,
sweet.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks. I really appreciate the effort.
And we look forward to having you on the comfy couch more often as we get toward the big 2020.
Lots going
Deal?
on. Yes.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Good. You're welcome. When we come back after just a little bit of musical chairs, Tacoma Musical Playhouse will be on the couch to talk about their upcoming musical that opens up tomorrow night, October 25th. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.